2 events down, and we still have many more to go, as our next event is going to be another special event whilst we're here, because, well, I figured, why don't I just do the 2 easiest events, get them out of the way, and then I've got the money to do everything. So let's now head over to our second special event, the Twilight Open Series. Nighttime racing in this competition increases the need for precision, driving, and quick reflexes. So it's open entry, £5 for the entry fee, and I've got less than 20,000 in my bank now, and we also get a total of 12.5k if we can win the championship. I'm also pretty sure I can, but there is a difference. So we're going to 3 tracks here, starting at Durham Road, then going to Route Adomf, and then we are ending at Landstrasse. So, let's go. And I also have a choice between 2 cars here. Of course, we can basically use any car here if we really wanted to. But the car I'm going to be using for this, so I think I've used the... oh, this is the car dealer. This is not where I need to be. So, I've already used the BMW now for 2 events in this game, and as you can probably tell, when I did my last grinding sesh, I switched over to the Mercedes SLK 230. And the reason I did that as well, because I wanted to use something different from the BMW. So I decided to use its counterpart, the Merc SLK 230. And I'm also getting a notification to charge my controller. But anyways, so purchasing the final upgrade now for the Mercedes, and all I have to do now is just go out and win the next 3 races. I should also mention this thing has aerodynamics. Just figured I'd mention that as my charging cable touches my laptop, but anyways. So just plugging in my charging cable because I now know my controller needs recharging. I've got the cable on now whilst I'm here, and so we begin what should be our 3rd event of this game, as well as also being our 2nd endurance event whilst I'm lying back in my desk chair. But anyways, here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Beginning our first race here at Durham Road, and we are driving on the normal course, except for saying we are driving at night. At least I can say in this game they have made night driving just a little bit easier compared to what it was in the previous 2 games. At least that's judging by my experience, and that's a all. I should not have shifted down into 2nd. Oh well. That's definitely going to leave some marks on this car. But anyways, I am now starting to make some progress, able to slot in between both of these guys now, up into 3rd position in my fully upgraded Merc SLK 230, and closing in on Bullet, who is just up ahead of me, I think in the purple BMW from what I can see here. So I'm closing in on Bullet now. He must be in the BMW. Of course, I should mention the only 2 cars the AI are officially using in this event are effectively the Merc SLK 230 and also the BMW Z3. Well, BMW Z3. whatever. Anyways. So, a Mercedes is leading this event, driven by Nemesis in his red Mercedes. We both pretty much have the same stripes, but either way, I'm now closing in and
You're in first place. It's the final lap.
I take the lead right at the start-finish line, and now I can basically begin to pull away from the AI whilst I'm here. Using another fully upgraded car, and yes, I am of course using the Merc because, well, I decided I think it's time for me to include some diversity. I should also mention you are going to have to do your fair share of grinding in this game in order to complete it the way I'm trying to complete it. But anyways, so continuing the trend of now pulling away from the leaders. Oh shit, that's the fence. I also have no idea why I keep shifting down into second when there's no reason to. Well, I guess that's just me. Anyways, going under these telephone pylons and heading around these two right-handers now. One more time. And coming through to officially win race 1.
That's your best lap. You won the race.
Although I cannot say it came without me scraping the walls a few times. But anyway. One race is down, and we still have 2 races to go.
2,
And whilst I'm here,
1, go.
I am going to get some clickbait. I'm also going to use camera 2 whilst I'm here, just because it means I can get a good shot of this thing from all sides, since this camera is moving around. And yes, I have decided this is the way I'm going to do it. Whilst I'm trying to get a reasonable clickbait shot whilst I'm here, as I head through the tunnel. I quite like the Durham course, to be completely honest, because, well, aside from it essentially being my home course because it's in England, I like it because it's a smooth flowing track. It's definitely one of those circuits, and I was right about the BMW at least. But again, whilst I could have held up my end of the bargain for BMW, I decided I would go along with using the Mercedes because I want to include some diversity. And who can really blame me? Okay, that's pretty much 1 lap now, so moving on. Pretty much got a full lap there of Land Stras in my blue Mercedes SLK 230.
Congratulations! You've got a top time for this track.
I have a feeling that's going to be a growing trend. And I was 3 seconds off my best lap time. I was 3 seconds off the best lap time I set in the BMW. and also 15 seconds off my personal best overall time with the BMW. But anyway, so I get about 3.2 grand, now back up to 11,000. I have the points lead, and we are now heading over to France for our second race. And where I am pretty sure this is going to be pretty easy, but we shall wait and see how the rest of this championship treats us. As we are one race down and we still have 2 races to go. So, let's hop to it, lads. Is all I can really say. Once the game loads. You know, this game does take a long time to load. That could just be me, but I think it takes a long time to load.
3, 2, 1, go!
Anyways. Here we are then now at Route Adomf for our second race in the Twilight Open Series. First time in this game we get to do some nighttime driving, which is interesting. In these medieval French streets. Or at least I think they're medieval. They're probably more likely to be Napoleon, but at least I think they're medieval. Anyways. I am here for the second race of the Twilight Open Series, and I scraped the wall. But whatever. I am still racing here, and it looks as though I am slowly but surely pulling away from the rest of the field. Even though it's a shame to say, because someone entered my room whilst I was doing this, I got a little bit distracted. But anyway, I am still pulling away from the rest of the field, and it looks as though it's more or less going to stay that way. As I head into the trees, I think these are meant to be rose trees if I'm not mistaken. As I am now heading down into the final corner. Should also mention that's, I think, meant to be a shortcut, but anyways, onto the second lap.
You're in first place! It's the final lap!
And onto the second lap we go here at Route Adomf, and already scraping the walls again, unsurprisingly. Of course, I know driving at night is much harder than driving in the daytime. Even then, of course, if a lot of the time I usually prefer driving at night because you don't have to deal with the sun glaring in your eyes. I don't think there's going to be any clean race bonus, but what I can say, however, is I am just continuing my domination. And I probably did not need to fully upgrade this thing, but again, I did it as a precaution because I know these events are going to get harder and harder as I trundle along. But it looks as though... oh, I just heard a dog. Anyways. Aside from hearing a dog barking and also hearing some crickets chirping. Sorry. Yeah. Well, I think the word is chatting. I'm hearing all sorts of sound effects right now. Probably could have turned those off, but I'm going to assume that must be part of the ambience of this game. But anyways, I'm slowly pulling away from the field behind me. I've got some damage, but I don't think I've got too much as I head through these final 2 corners and across the line now to winning race 2.
That's your best lap. You won the race.
Victory to the Merc SLK, as I am just going to move on and not waste any time. And unfortunately no new records, 232 credits and damage, but either way, doesn't affect me too much because I still get most of the money. No change in the leaderboard points, looks as though it's more or less going to be the same. But anyway, let's now move on to our final race in the Twilight Open Series, which takes place at Landstraße. Going in forward direction, and we are driving at night. So, without further ado, let's go! I'm also going to have a sip of water before getting on with the race itself, since I have the time to probably do so. Okay, just taking a sip of water going into this, so I have enough energy to get through this race. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Time for our last race in the Twilight Open Series.
Go!
And unsurprisingly, starting on the pole once again because, well, I have arguably the best car in the field. I'm also pretty sure I probably did not need to max out the performance upgrades on this thing, but either way, I did it as a precaution because I know the rest of the game from here is not going to be quite as easy. I also think this might give me enough to buy the Pontiac as well. Well, whichever one of those 2 cars I decide to use. I'm probably going to use either one of them. Although, I think my optional choice would be to choose the Pontiac just because I've not really driven that many Pontiacs in my YouTube gaming Let's Plays, and oh wow, I could have easily darted straight into the Armco there if I did not have the brakes on and was able to move into counter steer. If I wasn't able to counter steer, that could have easily been disaster right there. If I did not catch it. But anyways, back to the race itself, and I am once again slowly pulling away from my competition as I now open myself up to an 8-second lead as I head through that second hairpin, and I'm now heading down the road over to the tunnel. And I'm actually not pulling away as much as I had been doing in the first 2 races, although I'm going to assume part of the reason for that must be because it's one of the BMWs. But anyways, 1 lap down.
You're in first place. It's the final lap.
1 to go. Final lap if... Okay, let me start over. Final lap of the Twilight Open Series, and where it looks as though I and my blue Mercedes are once again going to achieve yet another clean sweep in terms of scoring the victories. I'm pretty sure this is going to be yet another clean sweep. And providing I do not make any colossal mistakes at this stage, I would think winning this race is probably going to be a likelihood. So, just got half a lap to go now here at Landstrasse, as I am negating these rather wide roads and heading into the... Oh, actually, you know what? There's actually 5 hairpins on this course, unless it's 4. I'm pretty sure there's 4, but anyway. So heading down the hill now once again, into the tunnel now for the final corner on the normal Landstrasse road course, as I am blasting through the tunnel once again, and looking like this is going to be another clean sweep. And there we go. I win!
That's your best lap. You've won the race.
And that should do it for the Twilight Open Series. Already got a thumbnail shot, so don't need to worry about that.
2.
And now we move on to the results. But first, we get the lap time records.
Congratulations! You've got a top time for this track.
I think this is starting to become a trend. Oh, okay. I actually set the 3rd best lap time overall. Sorry, the 3rd best time for 2 laps around Landstrasse in my Mercedes. Behind only Ra in his Chevy Corvette and Scooter in his BMW M5. I'm going to assume that must be a good car. But anyways, so these are the final standings. I win by 6 points over Nemesis with another clean sweep. Bullet finishes 3rd, followed by Frost in 4th, then Chump was 5th, and Ranger finished in last. At least I can say everyone gets points. But there we go. Another event has been sweeped, and now we move on to...
Congratulations! You have won the gold trophy!
We now move on to the prize money. So, up to 30 grand now. Great work! You have won the Twilight Open Series Gold Trophy. Thank you, game. And going to save the game once again, because I know this will be important, and I should have enough to buy my next car, as well as potentially buying a stage 1 upgrade in the process, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, there we go. Game is saved, and now we are back at the main menu. And where next time we will be getting back to the tournament to do our second event, the Regional Club Circuit. where we can choose between either the Chevrolet Camaro Z28 or the Pontiac Firebird. With that, stay tuned for more of NFS Road Challenge.